recording details, right? They were extremely detailed. They couldn't not write. Anything happened, oh, well, it rained today, they'll write. So unlike Muhammad's cult, who didn't know how to read and write, it wasn't important for them. Apparently Muhammad being an illiterate was also something that these Muslims celebrate. Okay? It's troublesome, to say the least. But my point is this, okay? Our brother Lumiere, very respectful Muslim guy, really honored to have him here today. He brings up Bilal al-Habashi. Bilal al-Habashi was not there willingly. He was a slave. He was a kidnapped man who was enslaved against his will, and even after Muhammad dies, had to beg for his freedom, and was mistreated over and over and over again. This was by no means a man who acted of his own free will and volition. Oh no, Balib is here for the first time. Let's welcome him, guys. Let's see if he'll be nice to me. Hi, Balib.
Hi, I'm okay, thank you. I'm going to be polite.
Cool.
I have a question. Who would you pray to before you die? Like, do you know who you're going to pray to? Jesus, God?
Okay. I would pray to the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and especially my Jesus Christ.
Okay, so you're going to... So
I could enter heaven.
Okay, but you know, like the worst, the last word on your mouth, yeah, whose name would you like it to be? The Father, God, or Jesus? Okay, so you have praised Jesus. You want the name Jesus to come out of your mouth last before the Father, right?
I would say Yeshua HaMashiach. I would say Jesus. I would say yes. I would say Isos. I would say it in as many languages. I would say Yeshua al-Masih. I would say it in as many languages as possible before I die.
No. John 14:6.
So you prefer to call upon Jesus than God, yeah? Than
John 14:6. You want to read it, Muslim?
Okay, Balib. Let me burst your bubble. Okay, can we have a serious conversation, you and I?
Okay, yeah, but I don't. Yeah, okay, go on.
No, without the mockery. Okay, I
never mocked you once. I never mocked you once. To ask the question.
So then let's start with the premise that you don't understand Christianity. Okay, you only think you do. No. You only think you do. You should ask me what we believe, and I'll walk you through it.
I know many different types of Christians. I know Orthodox Christians. I know Catholic Christians.
I'm an Orthodox. Listen to me. Okay. We are all agreed. I want you to hear this, okay? Here on this panel. Listen! Balib, you said you'd be respectful. I'm not going to have the screaming match with you. On this panel, you are sitting right now, currently, this very second, you're sitting with the most extremist Coptic Christian, which means I'm an Oriental Christian. And you have another extremist Christian who is Peter Doy, okay? AKA Pistol Pete, AKA Don Cleo, okay? So, he is Eastern Orthodox, okay? And Catholicism is no different than either one. The only difference we have in our understanding of Christianity or the agreement is the fact that we don't agree on the nature of Christ. Now, that's not a salvational issue. It is not something that we disagree on to the point where we distort our Bible. We don't do that. Also, we believe in the Old Testament completely. There is not one book that we have done away with. And the New Testament and the Old Testament are congruent because the Old Testament is prophecy, the New Testament is prophecy fulfilled in Jesus Christ, aka Yeshua al-Masih, Yeshua HaMashiach. Okay? Now, given these two facts, okay, and given the fact that the Catholic, the Orthodox, and the Protestant are all agreed that we have the same Bible, and also the Jewish books, the ones with the Jews, coincide with the same books that we have in the Old Testament, we don't have a problem. You do. We worship Yahweh of the Old Testament. In the New Testament, we call him Yeshua HaMashiach. We call him Yeshua. We call him Yeshua al-Masih. Okay? All right? Oh, we also have a Baptist, also a Protestant. Lil Dear. Thank you, sis. So, here's the thing. We, the Christians, have one book, okay? And it's called the Bible. It's a library of books. And we are happy with our doctrine to the point where we all agree Jesus Christ is Lord, Savior, Master, King of the entire universe, King of Kings. Okay? And he is God Almighty. No matter what you say, no matter what anybody else says. Now, you come along a mere 1400 years ago, okay? 700 years after my Jesus, and you try to do away with what he said. We have evidence to prove what he said is true. We have our manuscripts. We didn't burn our manuscripts, Balib. We have our Old Testament in its entirety, from the first book, Genesis, all the way to the last book, Malachi. All of that is a Tanakh. Okay? We have no problems with our books. Now help me understand, why should we believe in your Allah as opposed to our Yahweh, as opposed to our Yeshua HaMashiach? Why should we forgo Yeshua for your Allah? Now you can have as much time as you want. Talk.
Thank you. So I have actually a good response to that, yeah. So, like, the devil, do you believe the devil can produce a book that's as popular as the Bible?
No.
It's called the Quran.
Okay. Oh, no. I asked her, why is this guy responding? So you said no, and this guy said yes.
Not, can I,
So
can I
you're
just,
saying
can I
the
just
devil's,
answer?
so Peter
I
believes
will
the
say,
devil's
you asked me
equal
a
to God
question.
in making a book.
Hello. When you ask me a question, I have to answer it. Do you understand? I don't know why it makes you think that you can scream at me. You will not scream at me. No, I do not believe that your shaitan, okay, that your shaitan could make a book that is as beautiful as my Bible. Not in a billion years. Not if hell froze over.
Okay, so
but he can make up a book that is like yours. He did. It's called the Quran.
But
Yes,
that's what I'm trying to say. That the Quran is on the same
Quran-
level as the Bible. So you're saying the devil
Quran
is equal
in
to
fact
your.
satanic. The Quran is in fact satanic. Okay, you have to stop screaming.
Why can't?
Yes,
I'm not screaming.
Why? Okay.
I'm not screaming.
How about we check? We check and
Okay.
see whether your book is.
You said you'll let me speak here, but you keep cutting me off.
Sure.
Yeah,
No. You asked
you're
me a
not
question
fair.
and then you refused to let me answer it.
You did answer actually, but then this guy interrupted and was rude
After
to
I
me.
stopped you. No, I didn't ask you about pistol. By the way, Peter Doy.
asked you
Just wait a second.
simply-
Wait a second. If Peter Doy decides to speak, okay, that's his choice. If you ask me a question, it's also my right to answer your question. Okay, you can't just leave something. You say something and then you just expect me to sit back and take it. Got it?
Okay, so you don't believe the devil can reproduce a book that's as popular as the Quran, right? So that means that you have to accept the Quran. That means you have to accept the Quran then, just by saying you don't accept the...
Sir, listen to me, Balib. I understand what, like, you like to play with words a lot. I said he produced your Quran. Your shaitan, he produced your Quran.
You didn't say that. You said, no, he can't bring a book that's equal to the Bible.
I said what I said. I said he cannot produce anything like my book. But he can, in fact, produce your Quran. And he did.
Okay. What? Let me reply to this here. So you're saying the devil can produce a book that's as popular as the Bible, basically, then, right? Because the Quran has billions of followers, and we have the population.
No, it doesn't.
You're saying
No, it doesn't. Your Quran at best has 1.53 billion. Listen to me. Your Quran has at most 1.53 billion believers. Okay?
We're basically one third of the world.
More than half of them. You have to stop. More than half of them, okay? At least 75% of the Islamic world is not even practicing Muslim. They're not practicing.
Yeah,
okay? That's one thing. It's not me who said it, it's your ulama who said it, okay? It's not me. So you have to go ask them why they said that. Secondly, there are 3.5 billion Christians on the planet today. We are more than you. There are more Hindus in the world. There are more Buddhists in the world. There are atheists, Gnostics, agnostics in the world. Guess what? We all get together and we determined that your Quran is satanic. All of us got together.
It's because you're insecure liars. That's why you're a bunch of insecure idol-worshipping liars, and you just want to hold on to power, and you don't want to accept the last message from God.
You worship the Kaaba.
No, we actually worship Allah, the one that created everything that exists.
Why are you angry?
Jesus.
Why are you angry? Yes, you are. You're angry. You're angry. You're pissed off that your Muhammad is being dragged through the mud of his own.
He's actually in paradise right now with Jesus.
Legacy.
I believe he's in paradise right now with Jesus.
You listen to me.
Okay.
The sewage of which he created.
but what book
Now
after
we're
the Quran has
driving
many
it
followers?
through it, and you can't take it. I don't know why.
Can you answer this question? What book after the Quran has as many followers as the Quran? Or even close to it?
What book
Zero.
after the Quran?
Zero books.
Who follows
Zero.
the Quran? Who
Zero
follows the
books.
Quran?
There is no
What?
book after the Quran that has as many followers. So therefore, that's a
Who
miracle in
says?
itself.
Who says?
No one can reproduce a new book that's as popular as the Quran or even higher than that.
says?
So therefore, it's a miracle already. So you all have
Who
to accept
says?
it's a miracle. You all have to accept it's a miracle and you have to become Muslim now. That's it. You have to accept it's a miracle and become Muslim now.
That's
There's
it?
no book after the
That's
Quran
what
that's
it takes?
popular.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
yes, it does. It does
All
do
right,
that.
convince me.
You are gonna
Convince
regret
me.
existing. You are gonna
Convince
regret
me.
existing.
No.
There is no
Okay,
book after the
can I
Quran
tell
that
you?
has as many
Can I tell
followers.
you something? Can I tell you something?
It's a very clear book that has
Can
clear
I tell
directions.
you something?
of what
Okay,
God
no
wants.
problem. Can I tell
Alright,
you?
cool.
Tell
Okay
you
then.
something. Can I?
Okay then.
I'm done arguing with you.
I'm not arguing with you.
Help me
That's
understand. Help me understand. Help me understand. Okay. Why, when I call on my Jesus, do angels come and visit me?
Can you film
Why,
it
when
next
I
time?
say-
Show us.
Please, just wait.
All right.
Why, when I call upon my Jesus, do angels come and visit me? Why, when I
see if
call
you
on
can
my
finish
mother
that.
Mary? Please
believe-
stop. When I call on my Jesus' name, does my mother Mary visit me? Why do I see all of heaven? Okay. Why?
It's because the
Why
devil's
is it
giving you
possible?
delusions. The devil is giving you delusions. That's why.
The devil had that much power?
He is deceiving you. Yes, he can give you false visions. It's correct. The devil can give you
Who
false
said?
visions. It's very
Who said?
possible. It's very possible. See those people that practice devil worship in their spirituality. Do you think these people don't get visions as well? And all of
No.
these things. But we need to stick to what we have in reality,
No.
in the outside
No.
world, that the physical
No.
world. What we have is the Quran.
No.
The Quran is
No.
here right now in reality. No book after the Quran is as popular as the Quran. So that's a miracle in itself.
Can I ask
and
you
you're
a question
rejecting
then?
the most popular book in the world.
Can I ask you a question then?
Go ahead.
I think it's the best
Okay.
comedy book, Muslim.
So,
We'll make a book better than it.
It's the
can I
greatest
please?
comedy.
You can't do that, can you, PR? 'Cause you're stupid. You can't make a book better than the Quran. You're too stupid, PR.
I think your God is stupid when he said women.
But you
have
can't make a
sperm.
book better than it because you're stupid. So make a
I
book
think
better than
your
it or
God
you're
is
stupid.
stupid when
Okay,
he
so
said
PR,
women
make a
have
book
sperm.
tomorrow
Omar
better
did.
than it. That's as
But
popular as
Omar
it.
did.
If you can't do
Omar
it, you're
did.
dumb. If you
You
can't
can
do it,
keep
PR,
your
you should
sperm
get out
book.
there and block yourself.
Bilbao, you can keep your sperm book and your
Well,
flying
there's no
carpet.
book after it that's
Let's
popular.
not forget the flying carpet.
And that's
of
actually
Solomon.
that's actually evidence to prove it's a miracle from God, and you're all gonna basically risk your next life.
Yeah.
You're
To an idiot, the statue in the Kaaba.
Can I
you
say
are gonna be
something,
so
please?
terrified before you die.
Look,
You're gonna be so
can I
terrified
say
and confused.
something? Guys, can I
ahead.
say something?
Yeah. Go
I
ahead.
just want to say, okay? How are you so sure that if you believe that I had visions that were inspired by the devil, right?
Well, it's
Right?
possible. Yeah, devil worshippers do
Okay,
actually.
okay, no problem. Fair enough.
Possible.
So then, when the Quran says that Muhammad was visited by something that resembled Jibreel, and yet it turned out to be Al-Abyad, right? Who was Shaitan in Jibreel's clothing, right? Why didn't you question that?
Well, what hadith? Is this a verse in the Quran you're talking about, or hadith?
Oh, no, it's a verse in the Quran where Allah actually tells us that he has three daughters, اللات والمنات والثالثة وعزة الثالثة والأخرى, and
Yeah,
he
I
also-
honestly feel like you're
so
just
the
sort of
satanic verses. Please,
you
just 1
misunderstood
second.
it. I think you misunderstood
Can
the
I
verse.
say something before you start talking?
Okay, sorry.
Is there a possibility?
All right, sorry.
So, look, take after La Lumiere, okay? We have no problem discussing anything you want, but you have to learn how to discuss things properly. Yani, you can't have a screaming match. This
I
has
didn't
to end.
scream. He was insulting the Quran, so I got angry about that. I didn't scream at him.
Why would you get... listen to me. If you had nothing to be ashamed of, then you would not be offended.
Look, if someone insults you, I have the right to give them the same abuse back, to be honest.
No,
But, I'll try to be patient.
actually, that's neither here nor there. My point is this anyway, okay? We know that there are satanic verses that were inserted into the Quran.
No, we don't know that.
Why? Can I just say,
Sorry.
I have to finish what I'm saying.
Okay.
You say you don't know that, and that's fair enough. You don't, okay? But the tafasir tell us that Muhammad said that the verses that I just reminded you of in the Quran were inserted there by Shaitan himself, who basically corrupted the Quran. So please help me understand something. If Muhammad himself, who was demonically possessed for damn near a year and a half of his lifetime, of his prophethood, If he was demonically possessed, why don't you question him the way you're questioning me?
Let me answer that one. So if you acknowledge this like as a truth, yeah, what you just said, yeah, you have to acknowledge the rest of the Quran is from God as well. Like, so you have to embrace the Quran as well. So what are you trying? What point are you trying to make? You trying to say the Quran is from God? Do you believe the Quran is actually from God? Like, what are you trying to say?
No, I'm saying. Can I finish?
Okay.
Is it really possible to answer you? Okay. So what I'm saying is that if you believe that I received inspiration or visions that were inspired by the shaitan himself, okay, that means that the Quran itself is from shaitan. Because Muhammad himself saw shaitan in Cave Hira, which doesn't exist, by the way. And
yeah, but your visions didn't produce any book.
He was inspired to write down the Quran and to read it by the shaitan himself. So why aren't you as critical with Muhammad the same way that you are with me? Why are you?
Because he produced evidence, the Quran. That's exactly why he produced the Quran.
What's the evidence in the Quran?
The Quran and the Hadith as well is actually evidence. This is proof that he had divine knowledge, and someone like you haven't produced anything. What did you produce? What did you produce except for insults on the internet?
I didn't insult you yet.
Well, you insult Islam every day, but what did you produce that people see as a miracle? Nothing. You didn't produce anything.
Have I ever insulted? No, that's a lie.
You have not achieved anything as close to Muhammad, peace be upon him, and you dare to even question him.
You have to stop. I have never insulted Muhammad until you guys started insulting the Holy Trinity.
You do every day.
I never went out of my way. No. This is true. I saw Akhi X and Malik and Central Da'wah, okay, all of whom have taken jabs at the Holy Trinity. And they know that that's my red line. When they started cussing out my God, I went after their God. So fair is fair. Okay? When they start saying that they're going to piss on a deity, on a God. Okay?
I understand that. You don't come into insult Islam, but you react. I get it.
No, you have to be fair. You have to be fair.
You're trying to say you're not a bully. Okay, I get it. But you have said many negative things.
Stop talking over me. If you're going to address bullying and harassment and Christophobic behavior, then I will definitely take into account that we also have retaliated in the same manner. But you cannot come here with all this self-righteous, holier-than-thou act that you've got going, because your da'wagandists are the one who poured fuel on the fire in the first place. We never started the disrespect. We know to coexist with the Hindus, with the Buddhists, with the atheists, with the Gnostics, with the agnostics. You mean to tell me we couldn't coexist with you Muslims? In what universe is that normal? I have never seen the level of disrespect that you Muslims have shown to Christians and Jews in the same manner that you show it to the Hindus and the Buddhists and the atheists and the Gnostics and the agnostics, and all of us are sick and tired of it.
So you feel like, do you think...
No, hold on. When we decide to fight back, then you get offended. How is that fair? Balib, be honest with yourself. I know that you can think.
Okay, the person... Look, I'll give you some statistics right now, yeah? The most violent religion, yeah? The group of people is actually Christians. They've actually killed more people than any other group of people in the world. Do you know that, right?
Please stop using the K word. Okay, you know that that's a rule.
Sorry. Okay, I'm alive. Okay, I'm very sorry. Okay, forgive me. Okay, look, yeah? So we all know, yeah, the Christians, yeah, this group of people in this world, in real life, yeah? Are known to be they have the highest body count, basically, out of all groups of human beings in the world. So this is actually proof they're the most violent and aggressive.
What's a body count?
What's the body count? Well, you can check it out. There's lots of sources that speak about the body count throughout Christian history.
Google it.
Yeah, they're number one, basically. Look, I did Google it before. And everyone here can Google what religious group... Okay, look, one second. You're saying we're aggressive. Rita, you're saying we're aggressive, and I'm correcting you. I'm telling you that we're not aggressive. You guys are world record breaking level aggressive. Christians are. Do you get it?
Okay,
you lot are the champions of aggression.
No problem. Okay. Does it mirror or does it compare against the? How does it compare?
You know why I believe that?
Can I finish my sentence? I need to finish.
The fruits of the Bible, yeah, led to this mass murderous Christian cult.
You're mocking. See how desperate you're getting? You're getting desperate now. Okay? How does it compare? Answer my question. How does it compare to the 1.5 billion souls that were claimed by the Islamic sword? How does it compare?
Like I said, you have the highest numbers of deaths.
How does it compare? 1.5 billion.
You should make up a number. Make up a number.
Well, I didn't make it up. 400 million Indians disappeared. of the face of the planet the minute the Islamic expansionists went to India. Then after that,
And
listen
everyone
to
in
me
here
very
needs to notice
carefully.
something here. She
Listen to
never
me very
denied the
carefully.
fact. She never denied the fact once Christians are the most violent religious group people in the world.
I said,
She didn't
how
deny
does
it
it
once.
compare?
Sorry.
Finish.
Yeah, you didn't deny it once. The fact that the Christian group of people for the last 2,000 years have been the most violent group of people in the world. You haven't denied that, and that's a
Okay,
fact.
are you done? Are you done now?
Yeah. Muslims are
You
more
sure?
peaceful than Christians. I
You
just want to make sure
sure?
everyone knows Muslims are more peaceful than Christians.
Are you now going to? Oh my God, it's unbelievable. He said he was done.
I'm done. Sorry, go ahead.
So how does that compare against the 1.5 billion people who were lost? All of them from different religions, from different regions in the world. Okay, all of them coming from the Hindus, from the Buddhists, from the Gnostics, the agnostics, the other pagans. Okay, which include the European pagans and the Jews and the Christians. All of them totaling 1.5 billion souls and counting every single day. Okay, I want to know how Christianity compares in numbers, the lives that they.
I got also another statistic I want you guys to actually understand.
No.
Christian countries.
I answered your question. Answer mine. Okay? You don't get to gloss over what I just said as if I didn't say something to you. Okay? Don't come here and monologue. This is a question and answer session. You ask me a question, I answer. I ask you a question, you answer. You got it? Don't play games. Okay? I want to know how Islam compares to Christianity. Oh, you left, did you? Did you? Balib, you're a coward. You could have said whatever you wanted and I would have allowed you. Okay? But the problem with you is that you think that you can retell history. And when I told you to go to Google, it's not because I actually appreciate Google for anything. I never Google anything that I want to research. I'm a researcher. I never, ever Google. It's you who do that. You and your ummah. Now, I, on the other hand, have to go with facts. Islamic facts. Islamic sources. That's what I do. If you're going to make a claim that Christians claimed more lives than any other religion, that's a lie. 1.5 billion and counting. That should tell you something. Okay? No, I don't. Balib, you didn't have to drop yourself. Now stop playing like a victim. Come back up and complete the session that this rant session that you were going on. Okay? And answer my question. How does it compare? And Google it. Google the answer. I want to know exactly how many lives Christians have claimed. How many? Come on. Let's go. Come back up because I'm not playing games with you anymore. Okay? I'm more than happy to discuss facts. What I'm not willing to do is to placate you and appease you and allow you to run the show. Okay? Your lies have to end sometime. Google it and give me the number in the chats. Then I'll let you up. Okay? Oh, I know, Mr. Gucci. Believe me, I know. See, I like to give opportunities to people. I don't have people that I dislike. But if you blaspheme once, you can't then, while your hands are dirty, start pointing at other people for blasphemy. Okay? I'm not someone who said that I don't blaspheme. I started doing so after I saw Central Da'wah, Malik and Akhi X doing it. And I warned them. I warned them 3 times before I went that route. Okay? So let's not play games with each other. Oh, and by the way, crying over what somebody else says, Peter Doy has a right to say whatever he has to say. If in response you start saying, "Oh no, can anybody write a book like the Quran?" Of course they can. Umar bin al-Khattab wrote the Quran. He even said that you could add poetry to the Quran. And Joel, I know, I have no clue. I don't know how that man. I'm sure they look at. He's got exquisite skin. I have to be honest. You know, he moisturizes very, very nicely. And my creams are very expensive. I don't get that glistening look that he's got going on. Ask him, what did I lie about? Okay, let's see what Asim has to say to me. Hello. Hello.
Lie when you speak. You said was that Umar ibn Khattab wrote the Quran. Astaghfirullah.
No. You want me to
Also,
show
your
you?
father was on the news.
Hello. It didn't work for Balib when he was here.
Father committed terrorist act.
Don't do that. Okay?
The father in Germany.
Yes. My father is not the problem. You are.
Germany
You
is
have to
the one that
understand
committed the terrorist
something.
act, right?
Bullying me
So
for my
prove the
father
point.
is
You
really,
have to
really
come back
funny.
lying shamuta.
Yeah.
That's what you are.
When you go back to your daddy, tell him that, okay? All right? What does my father have to do with this? My father is a wealthy man. He never once had to do anything for attention. Wealthy, very well known. Also helped his community greatly, told them not to commit incest because he saw that God was right. You know what my father said? My father, for the longest time, he was one of the first medical professionals to specialize in vitro fertilization. Okay, and he was a medical geneticist, and he said the God of the Torah was wise beyond compare because he could see the genetic problems that would be caused if siblings and siblings, two siblings got together and they procreated, and he stopped it before it became a problem. Meanwhile, Allah says that you can have your cousin, your nephew, your mother, your father. I mean, for God's sake, where does it end? Where does it end, your incest? Unique, you have to apologize though. I like you, Unique, but you have to apologize to me. Say sorry, Rita. I'm waiting for my apology. Ooh, Mr. Gucci, that sounds so lovely. By the way, my biggest dream is to own my own farm and my own ranch. But I don't know what I would do with the cattle other than love them. Oh boy, oh joy. Adam.
Hey, Rita, how's it going? God bless.
I'm
How are you
good.
guys doing?
How are you? Merry Christmas.
Yeah. How's everyone doing? How's Mushroom? Bless you, brother. What are you guys discussing today? What's the program for today?
Well, we are discussing whether the Quran teaches its readers good morals. And apparently, nobody seems to answer this. But we had a very good guest, a very good Muslim guest. His name is La Lumiere. And we had a beautiful conversation with him. Oh, his internet is not working. Anyway, thank you, X Shekel. I love you too, my brother.
Yeah, so Islam, I mean, how can Muslims say, Rita, that Islam has good morals? Like,
I have no clue. I mean, I'd really like to see for myself. How they keep saying this with a straight face, I will never understand.
like I've never understood that as well.
I know. Like, how do you? And my question to them is this: like, how do you measure? Like, what are your standards? What is the gauge that you're using to show, or to showcase that Islam actually does teach good morals? I would like to know.
Yeah, that's a
And
good
when you
question.
ask them to say flee for their lives.
Absolutely.
So Balab was up here, and he made the claim that Christianity was the one religion that claimed more lives in all of its history. I said no. I vehemently disagree because of the fact that 1.5 and counting souls have been claimed by the Islamic sword.
That's
So
right, yeah.
regardless of how we see it, whether it's World War I, World War II, nowhere in history and nowhere since time began have we seen the slaughter that Islam has caused.
Yeah. Also, like, the thing is like, these people who, like, you know how, like, a lot of Muslims will try to go to, like, these different wars that allegedly were caused by Christians, like the Crusades and what have you, right? I always tell them that they weren't following the teachings of Christ and Christianity, right? So, like, whenever we're discussing these things, we have to make sure that the Muslim abides by what the respective religions actually teach and not by the actions of the people that claim to follow the religion, because that's not going to be authoritative, right? And so Islam using the sword and spreading by the sword is what their religion teaches. It's what their prophet and their companions did, right?
Right.
But, you know, what happened in the 11th century with the Crusades has nothing to do with Christ nor with the disciples, right?
Exactly. And that's usually my answer to them as well. Like, it's got nothing to do with the fact that Jesus Christ, what he told us was to spread peace, was to be loving to our enemies, was to
Absolutely.
tolerate and endure the way he endured. But here comes they attack Jesus, they impugn him and his character, they impugn Yahweh, they impugn the Holy Trinity, not knowing what at all what is contained within our Bible.
Exactly. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And they have to engage in that type of stuff where they're being deceptive using, like, you know, the Crusades and stuff like that, because they have no other option.
Exactly.
Like, what do you want them to say, right? Like, they have nowhere to go. So that's why they have to cope basically by citing these things, right? Even though it has nothing to do with Christianity. Yeah.
Absolutely. And frankly, I'm sick and tired of their self-righteous behavior. It just goes to show that, you know, they're not willing to have an honest conversation. And by the way, I always ask them this one question: would you like to perhaps reform Islam so that it's now readily acceptable to the rest of the world? I mean, I wouldn't mind if you're reforming it. I mean, we the Christians have reformed the way that we do things, not our doctrine, okay, but the way in which it's practiced, the way in which it's spread, right? So if you don't like the verses of violence that we keep dissecting day in, day out, then the one thing that you need to do is to reform your religion.
But they can't, Rita. I know that that's what we always tell them, but they can't do it because it's already been established, right? You have a consensus among the fuqaha that that the sword verse, for example, abrogates all the peaceful Meccan verses when Muhammad was weak. You have them all agreeing that there were stages of jihad, right? And the final stage with the sword verse abrogates all these previous stages. You have even the seerah. I mean, the seerah is very clear what Muhammad did, right? Like, Muhammad, when he gained power, he kept spreading his faith by the religion, by the sword, his religion by the sword.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, what do you do with that? Like, how do you, like, reform when you have the books saying very clearly and explicitly to go spread the faith by the sword and unalive anyone who's not a Muslim?
I mean, I don't know. There has to be a solution, though. There has to come a time when they realize that it's their doctrine that's the problem. It's not our doctrine.
Because, you know, Rita, it's sort of like saying, you know, guys, the Council of Nicaea and the Nicene Creed with the Trinity, you know, got the Trinity doctrine wrong. We have to reinterpret the Trinity doctrine, right?
Yeah.
like Christians wouldn't really accept that. Like, how can we reform something that's been established, right, by the agreement of all Christians, right, throughout the centuries?
Yeah.
It's like very weird. Like, how can we do that? It's like, you know what I mean? So it's sort of like the same scenario. Like, how can they change a tradition that's been accepted by all Muslims throughout the centuries? It's like,
exactly. I mean, look, and it's not a hard question to answer, because the evidence speaks for itself. Their behavior around the world has caused concern everywhere. Now, there isn't a Jew, there isn't a Christian, there isn't a Hindu, a Buddhist, and Gnostic and agnostic and atheist who doesn't know about Islam.
that's right.
How
Which
is
is
it
good.
powerful?
It's a good thing.
I know it's good, because now we're telling them, look, this is the fruit of Islam.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we see nothing good coming from it, but we see you coming to us in droves. What about us? We don't come to you ever, but you come to us. That should be your fundamental reason for leaving Islam.
Exactly.
If for nothing else, that should be it.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Exactly. They should leave Islam.
They should.
They, it's like, why are they still in Islam? I don't understand.
Nobody will know. Nobody would understand. It's
But
not
Rita,
something.
you've been doing an amazing job by having a lot of people leave Islam, though. I see a lot of people almost every day leave Islam because of you.
Look, I don't like claiming any kind of credit. Like, it's God's work. At the end of the day, I just speak to people. That's all I do. I'm not even as eloquent as you, or maybe as Muslim. Oh no,
you're way
seriously.
better.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding.
Right. Okay, but what I like to do is I like to engage with people, and I like to maybe, like, 2 atheists came to Christ in the last 3 days, all because we were talking about common logical thinking, reasoning. And
I was just going to say that it's very common sense what we're telling them, right? Here's what your religion teaches. It's terrible. Why are you still like?
If 2 atheists can come to Christ, right?
Yeah.
Why is it that these supposedly intelligent, raised in the West with Western values, Muslims, right? Why can't they get it? Only because they've been taught not to listen.
Exactly.
And I'm genuinely like, I fear for them. And I generally do want the best for them. Like, I don't hate them. They know that I don't hate them.
Yeah.
But the way they act, the way they behave is genuinely concerning.
It's, of course, very. We have to be concerned about their afterlife, right? Like, do they want to spend eternity in hell? Right? That's like very, very sad. That if they don't accept Jesus as their Lord and Savior, that's going to be their fate. And so, we should be very concerned and really try to show them the truth, and they as well should be very concerned about their afterlife.
That's
like,
what
me,
I tell them. I'm like, what if you were lied to all your life? And then they're like, no, we weren't. You're lied to. I'm like, okay, fair enough. I could be lied to, but what about you? The question is about you. If you were lied to, wouldn't you want to know the truth? And then they go, yeah. I'm like, okay, great. Then we're both in the same boat. Let's discuss. Let's look into your doctrine, and then we'll look into my doctrine. Then they go, no, your doctrine first. I'm like, yeah, but you wanna show me that your doctrine is better, right? Show me about your doctrine first. And then they show me their doctrine. I show them mine, and we compare and contrast. My God is always holy.
Absolutely. Always will come out on top, yeah.
Absolutely. Every single time.
Absolutely. There's no question about that.